It's going to be a wild one. The America of today never lets me down. Watch out for the rape accusations against the president. More Mexican troops to their southern border to stop the illegals from coming to America, thanks to President Trump. The president of the United States, long accused of being a warmonger, actually says, no, I'm not going to go to war with Iran. And all hell breaks loose in Washington, D.C. between the pundits and the elites. So strap in. It's going to be a wild ride here on the Rob Maness Show. Oh, yes. I've been looking forward to this show. We're going to cover a lot of ground with some new talent coming straight to America right out of New Orleans, Louisiana. Have you seen the latest attempt by leftists to accuse the president of rape? Oh, my goodness. Just check out Anderson Cooper's interview with the accuser. That woman needs mental health help, not to mention she shouldn't be abused by the leftist propaganda media and politicians. And how about the president's decision to not go to war with Iran? Geez, you would think he's some kind of weirdo pacifist by the reaction among all, and I mean all, the political and national security elites and punditry. I've never seen so many nuts want to send America's young men and women to fight a country that's not worth a dime to us. Not even the Persian Gulf really matters much since we're energy independent. Heck, it's best for us to remove ourselves from that area, and so the markets open up to our energy exports. Of course, the latest illegal alien news has Mexico sending 15,000 of their troops to their southern border, and that should have a positive impact on stemming the rising tide of illegals hitting our southern border. Thanks only to President Trump's tariff threat and negotiation skills of his team, and zero thanks to the feckless, ever useless United States Congress. The latest culture war skirmishes reveal leftists that University of Texas, Austin are threatening incoming freshmen so they won't join conservative-leaning campus groups or they'll be doxxed and harassed. Not to mention the terrible idea of the cancel student debt hashtag efforts launched by socialist presidential candidate Senator Bernie Sanders and the ever-loony socialist Congresswoman Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. To help us wade through all this muck and mire is children's book author and co-host of a brand new radio show on WGSO 990 AM out of New Orleans, The Right Chicks, Michelle Hirstius. Well, to help us wade through all this muck and mire of social justice warriors, political correct culture attacking conservatives, and the president all of a sudden being accused of being a pacifist, is children's book author Michelle Hirstius. And she's also the co-host of a brand new radio show on WGSO 990 AM out of New Orleans, Louisiana, The Right Chicks. Michelle, thanks for coming on the Rob Maness Show.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
Well, what you got going on? Tell us a little bit about what's going on right now with your efforts.
Well, I mean, actually, I'm really surprised. I mean, everything that's been going on has been going on like super quick. Like we started doing the radio show with the Right Chicks with Jeff Coare just for a couple of months, and then before you know it, we wind up getting our own spot. So we're super excited. We're getting lots of followers on Facebook. Right now, my book is kind of booming, especially with July 4th right around the corner. Hey, we got to spread patriotism in Trump 2020.
Oh, absolutely. And I like the title of that book. It's One Flag, One America, right?
Yes. Actually, I guess I don't tell Trump, but I kind of stole it from one of his speeches when he said, we are one America under one flag. So I was like, bingo, title for my book.
We won't tell him, and nobody's told me that he took Drain the Swamp from my first political campaign either. But You might find that out sometime too. But let's
Yeah.
wade right into all this muck and swampiness that's going on here. Well, the president, I think, made a wonderful call last week and decided we're not going to go to war with Iran over their shoot
Yes.
down of the. It was an expensive unmanned aerial vehicle, but we're not going to go to war over that. And you would think that the man is a complete raging weirdo pacifist after being accused of being a warmonger for years by
Yeah.
how the punditry and the national security and political elites inside the beltway, the swampy crazy beltway up there. I mean, that's what my opinion is. He made the right call. What do y'all think about it?
I mean, I think so too, honestly. First of all, let me like try to get out of the swamp here. I mean, all the, I guess, BS that they always give you all the time, the media and the Democrats. Um, I personally think that Obama and Kerry went over there early to try to stir up the pot. And guess what? Trump's always two steps ahead of him. I knew he wasn't going to go to war or anything against these guys. I wish they would have passed it for him to sell arms to Saudi Arabia and let them kind of deal with it themselves instead of, getting us involved. But I think that him putting on those strong sanctions, really kind of said, hey, I'm not messing around here.
Well, he got everybody's attention when he mentioned that, well, maybe we don't even need to protect any shipping as the United States of America in the Persian Gulf and the Straits of Hormuz. And I think I know where he's going. Where he's going is America's energy independent now. We're trying to open more export markets for our fossil fuel production overseas. So why should we expend our resources and put our young men and women's lives at risk by protecting someplace that really is no longer in our vital interest to have to protect?
Right. You are 100% correct. Again, another promise made, another promise kept. I mean, he is trying to make us 100%, self-sufficient.
Exactly right. Well, what'd you think about the latest accusation against the president? It looks like they're trying to do a Brett Kavanaugh
They
on
are.
Donald Trump on the second go around. It almost makes you chuckle until you see the performance of the woman who's the accuser. And I'm not even going to put her name out there because it doesn't deserve it. But she was on Anderson Cooper's show on another network, cable network, the other night, and she had what appears to be a complete meltdown, saying crazy things like rape is sexy to some people. I'm paraphrasing now, but Cooper cut to commercial immediately when those words came out of her mouth. What is wrong with the crazy media in this country? They don't know how to vet people anymore.
No, I don't know where they dig these people up. I really don't. I mean, just when you think they go deeper and find some crackpot. I mean, this chick is worse than Ford. I mean, she really looks nuts. And I mean, honestly, can you believe anything out of her mouth? She can't even form a sentence completely. I mean, she has no credibility whatsoever. She's basically doing this just for book sales. And I mean, the whole book is about 20 something guys sexually assaulting her. I mean, this lady shouldn't walk out of the house if she's got that kind of magnetism with men just going all over her all the time. I mean, it's loony, loony.
Oh, I personally think she needs some mental health care. And the folks, the politicians, and so-called journalists and media personalities that are taking advantage of her and trying to use her for political reasons should be ashamed of themselves. And I think they're actually abusing a person like that when they try to do that. And it's not the first time, and I'm sure, sadly, it won't be the last time.
It
But I
won't
hope she
be.
gets some. I hope she gets some mental health care because I truly, after watching that display, believe that she needs it, and we pray for her. So that's not all the crazy wackiness that's going on, though. You know,
I tell
it's
you, you can't make this stuff up.
you can't make this stuff up. The hashtag cancel student debt is trending now because candidate, socialist Senator Bernie Sanders says that people that have student loans shouldn't have to pay them off. And AOC, crazy, loony Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, our favorite socialist congresswoman, has jumped on the bandwagon. Uh, and I'm confused because, I went in the Air Force and got 2 college degrees before I finished being an enlisted person. And then after I got commissioned, I got 3 master's degrees. And I did get some debt for my graduate degrees, but I was debt free after my undergraduate degrees. My answer to this is don't pay them off for them. If they agree to sign up to 4 years in any military service, the Coast Guard, Merchant Marine, the Guard, the Reserve, anything, give them 10 years of interest deferment and payment deferment, and serve 4 years, get those things started paid off, get some good experience, and then get out in the workforce after the military. What's wrong with that?
I don't know. You have this new concept of earning it. I mean, if you start giving away all this, college tuition for free, I mean, who's to say now everybody's going to want to go to Harvard because now it's free? It's not fair for the people that went to school and now have to pay their student loan. What are you going to do? Reimburse everybody, that did it? I mean, I wasn't able to afford to, go to college, especially in the Ivy League. So how is that fair? So some schmo is going to be able to go there for free. Then on top of that, you got the kids that work so hard for years and studied and studied and studied to get scholarships, and some Joe gets off the street and gets to go for free. That's not fair.
No, it's not fair. And, I did go to Harvard, and the $40,000 in student debt that I had to pay off in my 40s, by the way, was
Yeah.
for that 1 year at Harvard for a graduate degree. And you know what? It was worth it. It was worth it. But I want my money paid back to me if we're going to pay off all these kids' student
Right.
loans. It's just not right.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
that's what we're hearing.
you think that's fair for now you not only did you pay for yours, but now your taxes are going to have to pay for somebody else? That's not fair.
That's right. And my kids, I have 5 children. One of them's still at home. The ones that have gone to college don't have any student debt because we taught them what they needed to do to not incur student debt, and they're doing fine. So I hope these kids get it through their heads that they're just going to have to get out there and work 2 or 3 jobs, or hey, go in the military or the Merchant Marine or the Coast Guard
Mm-hmm.
or the Peace Corps even. And you can get a deferment even now, I think, while you're in active duty in those organizations. And then when you get out, you'll have some experience, you'll have your college degree, and you can go into the workforce on a lot better footing than you are coming out of college with 40 or $50,000 worth of debt. And really, a lot of them aren't choosing degrees that are very, let's just put it this way, employable,
Lucrative. what
lucrative.
a concept. You have common sense.
Yeah, I mean, s- getting a 4 year Bachelor of Science degree in something like, oh, we used to call it basket weaving, but I think now they call it social justice warriors for feminists
Right.
degrees and those kind of things. They're not very employable or lucrative.
No. Well, I mean, now you can go to school to figure out if you're a male or a female. I mean, because they got now these transgender classes and stuff like that. I mean, it's ludicrous.
Yeah, well, hopefully someday our country will get its brain back on correctly and we'll figure all this stuff out
Yeah.
and folks can just live their lives without being harassed by each other all the time. And speaking of harassment, did you see that the University of Texas of Austin has got an anarchist student group that is openly threatening incoming freshmen that if they sign up for conservative leaning student groups on campus, they will be doxxed. Doxing is where they publicize all your contact
Right.
information. They will
Mm-hmm.
be harassed, and I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have violence committed against them, at least the threat of violence against them. And I just think another crazy left wing idea. These people say they're against things like fascism and those dictators and those kind of things, and then they adopt the same tactics that were used in the 1930s by certain groups over in Germany called brown shirts. And
Hmm.
they were used by the Maoists that took over China, and that is now the People's Republic of China, where millions of people have been killed and destroyed completely over the last 100 years, like 100 million people by these totalitarians. And these kids are being taught somehow, I guess, by professors and liberal parents, that it's right to go after your fellow citizens in a threatening manner and try to commit assault on them.
But wait, they're the party of tolerance. I mean, aren't they supposed to be tolerant of everything? They're only tolerant if you agree with them. I mean, we had that fella, Peyton. I think he went to Tulane or whatever, and they burned something on his door. I mean, they could have killed somebody just because he was part of the Turning Point USA and everything that they're doing now. The campus clashes in universities like Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk. I mean, they go to speak and they get protested against all the time. I actually went to one of their, I guess you call it speeches, conferences, and it was fantastic. But of course, you always have, one silly Willie getting up there and has to protest, and they're not peaceful about it. They're cursing and waving and just being. They don't know how to act like civilians and humans, and that's the one thing that I appreciate being a conservative is I act like a human being. And if you have a difference of opinion in me, okay, well, you got a difference in opinion. I'm not going to beat you over the head like they do. And they dress up like ninjas. What's the whole thing of dressing up all in black like a ninja? I mean, it makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy and ludicrous, and you can't think of enough crazy adjectives to
You,
apply to this kind of stuff, and that that leads me to my last topic, and this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart. I did a piece on it last week about flag burning, but Independence Day's coming up, and I know you are the One Flag, One America author of the children's book. And before we break, make sure let you tell people how to get that book and where to find you and everything for the radio show. But you know, this week and next week's all about flags, 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 and I know on this show it's one flag, one country, and that's one America, the red, white, and blue Star Spangled Banner. But you see actual news articles like in Maryland last week where a local government replaced a POW MIA flag. That's the black flag with the silhouette of a soldier in prison that you
yep.
see on it at a Veterans Memorial flag station outside of their government building with a gay pride rainbow flag. And I just think that's ridiculous. All it does is it makes people feel bad on both sides of the debate and the discussion about a certain issue. And you should never, ever replace the American flag or a flag dedicated to folks that have died for the American flag with something like that. Don't you think?
Oh, I completely agree. I mean, I think, like you said, people on both sides are probably upset. I mean, I have a friend of mine that is gay, and he's a Republican, and I mean, he would be totally disgusted if they did something like that around here. It's preposterous. I mean, and for them to burn the flag and to replace it with something else and especially that. I mean, hey, I get the whole pride thing, but I mean, you're prideful because of your sexual orientation. I'm more proudful for our veterans that have sacrificed themselves for our country.
And I'm very proud of my kids that have served. I have three that have served in the military, one's still in, and of course my own military service. We
Hmm.
serve for the idea behind that flag, which includes everyone now. Our country had to go through some rough times in its history, and hundreds of thousands of us died to make the country what it is today, where we can all work to be one instead of be divided. And I think that's what infuriates me the most about people attacking the United States flag that are citizens of the country and from all walks of life too. You know, immigrants, refugees that have become citizens, gay folks that have fought hard for their freedom to exist, their right to exist. Religious people that fight for their right to believe what they want, even if folks disagree with them, like the cake baker out in Colorado who's getting
Hmm.
sued for the third time by this time a transgender folk. Look, America's about people being able to be prosperous, being able to being born equal, and being able to have the same level of opportunities, which involves personal hard work. And we should protect the liberties of everybody and not trample on one person's liberty to give false natural rights to another person. And I think we've got a long way to go to right our ship on that. But I'm confident with folks like you and the Right Chicks show in New Orleans, Louisiana, that America will continue to be the greatest country in the world. What do you think, Michelle?
Oh, definitely. I am 100%, go America, America first, God bless America, everything you could say. I mean, we all bleed red, white, and blue. I find it amazing that people leave other countries because, they're in distress, yet they come here and they're trying to bring that culture and that distress over to us. You come to America, you believe that America would benefit you. Why would you want to change it from something you just left? I mean, to me, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Absolutely. Well, tell folks how to find your book and get your book and where to go to listen to the radio show, what day of the week it is, and all that info.
Okay, I'll give you the scoop. I brought my own props. Here's the book and my flag. It's One Flag, One America, teaches you everything about the American flag and to make sure that your children stand in honor for our heroes. I give 10% to veterans charities. You can find this on Amazon. You can also buy them directly through me on Etsy. I have my own little Etsy store for this. Or if you go to One Flag, One America Facebook page, there's a shop now button. You can go ahead and click it and it'll come straight to me as well. Perfect for 4th of July coming up. Again, I'm a little biased, but I think it's awesome. And you can also follow me and my friend Mimi Owens. We are the Right Chicks. We are on Facebook. We are with Jeff Coare every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Central. And our show, just me and Mimi, are on Wednesdays between 2 and 4 p.m. Central on WGSO 990 AM. Or you can watch us live through Facebook.
Oh, that's great. I didn't realize you were doing Facebook Live. I'll pass that word along. And the website to listen to it on the web for folks that might be out in like Hawaii is WGSO990.com.
You are correct.
All right. Well, Michelle, thank you very much for joining us here today on the Rob Maness Show, and we certainly appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
God bless you, and God bless America.
Thank you. You too.
Well, thank you very much, Michelle, for joining us here on the Rob Maness Show and helping us wade through the mire and the muck that is the social justice warrior, political correct culture, and the craziness that is the swamp in Washington, D.C. But we know with people like you and your partner of the Right Chicks on watch, America's going to be okay. Until next week, this is Rob Maness.